Good day, everybody. Yeah, I want to believe that we have connected. It's good to be back. Let me just appreciate all of you for your understanding. I mean, people had called in to request that why did we stop the weekend tonic? I want to appreciate all of those that had contacted to make that request, making us to know that the tonic has indeed been fulfilling its purpose and actually becoming a tonic to people. So I appreciate all of those that have called in. It's actually that I have been on what I call a brain rest. You know, I had to give the brain some rest. I had to go on rest. I had to go on recess. All works and no play, you know, we say makes Jack a dull boy. And I don't want to be a dull boy. So I had to be honest. So I want to appreciate everybody. And I've also been on media rest, you know, so I really appreciate all of those that have prompted to request why we've been away on here, why we've not been coming up with the tonic anymore. So good day, everybody. M.A.C. Oladejo is my name. I'm the lead pastor, the Lord's Portion Restorers Church. Thank you for joining me today with the weekend tonic. All right. I am very, very glad, yes, like I said, to be back. Thank you, my sister. Good evening. Yeah, I'm very, very glad to be back with you. You know, for weekend tonic, I want to just say how has been the times, the seasons. I believe that it's been good and well with you, you know, through this time, through this thick and thin. Yeah, 2020 has been a year that is wonderful, a wonderful year. You know, a year I know we cannot forget 2020 in a jiffy. I know we cannot. So let me here wish you Merry Christmas in advance. I want to wish you many good years, prosperous 2021 in advance. I know it's going to be a wonderful 2021. Yeah, I know that. I have assurance in my spirit that 2021 is going to be a year of relief. It's going to bring relief to a lot of us because we have gone through the song, and so obviously we should dance. All right, today we have come to discuss and talk about a topic that has been so, you know, so burdensome in my heart, that has been so much being a concern to me, and I've looked forward to one day that we will treat this, you know, type of topic. And so I want to say it's a good privilege to share this topic with you. I call it memorial. Wow, memorial. Yes, you know, anybody that hears that word memorial, the first thing that comes to mind is has anybody died? Or is anything? No, nothing has happened. No, everybody, you will live, I will live to declare the glory of God. And thank you, brethren. Thank you for joining. All right, so memorial, it's a topic that we should talk about. It's a thing that all of us should work towards. Oh yeah, we should work towards memorial. You know, one key thing I'd like you to first know, you know, in opening this topic, one key thing I'd like you to first know is that people will never remember you for what you did not do. Nobody will ever remember you for what you never did. People will only remember you for those things you did, bad or good. Right? So the memory of the bad things you did, the bad things I did, the good things I did, shall be the things that will remain in the memory of people. Right? For some people, for the rest of their lives. Some people, it will be a short time. Some people, it will be a long-term memorial, right? So people will never remember you for what you never did. People will only remember you for the things you did. So it's good that we talk about this topic, memorial, right? Memorial. And it is only what God, all right, before I come to that, it is only what you did or what you have done or what you are doing that people will remember for you. And that's why it's very key, very essential that you and I must know. I have this very strong belief that our world would be better, right? Our world will become very much better if constantly we put this word memorial in mind in anything we are doing. The world will become very better. Because if I have it in mind that whatever I'm doing, people will remember me for it, whether good or bad, then I would rather prefer to do the good, right? So this word, memorial, I like that from now going forward, let's all imbibe it, putting it forward, putting it at heart, finding a place for this word in our psyche, in our consciousness. Find a place for it to guide whatever you are doing, so that this word memorial, will get you to do what is right. It will get you on to want to do what people will quickly, maybe in a jiffy, remember you for, right? Whether you are there or you are not there. So this is the first appeal, that I want to do today as we are treating on this topic. An important thing I like to also say today is that you should create your memorials yourself. You are meant to create your memorials yourself whilst you are still alive. Don't wait until you are no more before people begin to, create things around your memory, right? People now begin to talk about you, in this part of the world, we talk more about people and what they did that is good, after they are gone. So you don't need to wait for people to do your memorial for you. No. Begin to create room for your memorial from now. Begin to, in your consciousness, not subconscious, in your consciousness, begin to do things with memorials in mind. Because you want to actually carve a niche that affects, people around you, that what you do remains in their memory, either short term, long term, or forever. So create it yourself. Don't wait for people to write your memorials. Don't wait for people to create memorials for you. No, don't do that. Don't do that. A woman did something that actually prompted me to bring up this topic now. Like I said, it's been a topic on my heart. It's been a thing of concern to me. How would people remember, what would people remember about me in case I'm not there again, in case I meet someone and, I don't meet that person again? What is the memorial that the person will have about me? It's been a concern. But when I came in contact very recently with this story, the story of this woman again in the scriptures, when Jesus now said in Mark chapter 14, a woman did, something to Jesus, and Jesus practically said there in Mark chapter 14, Jesus said, what this woman had done shall be in memorials. Right, that it will be in the memory anywhere the gospel is preached, that the memory of this, what the woman did, shall remain. So Jesus did the memorial for the woman. In fact, the woman created the memorial for herself before she passed on, before she died. So that's why I'm saying it's good. Memorials are to be created by yourselves, by what you do, Create your memorials. What you want people to remember you for, good or bad, do it. Start to do them now. Don't wait until you go and people begin to say, let's create a memorial for him or for her. Let's do this in memory of her. Let's do that. No, create yourselves. The things you want for your memory. By the time you are no more there, let people create whatever they want to create. But you can make up a memorial for yourself. Mark chapter 14. Maybe I can read that account. Mark 14 verse 8 and 9. Let me just read verse 8 and verse 9. The Bible says, she did what she could. She poured perfume on my body to prepare it ahead of time for burial. Now I assure you that wherever the gospel is preached all over the world, what she has done will be told in memory of her. What she has done. That's why I told you when I was opening that people will never remember you for what you never did. People will only remember you. Your memory will keep ringing only with things you did. So never have anything in your mind that you want to do, either for people or for yourself, and you don't do it. You just keep procrastinating. They won't remember you for those things you didn't do. It is only those things you did that people will remember you. So suffice to say, different people, did different things for Jesus when Jesus was alive. Different people did different things. But the Bible records in Acts of Apostles how that there were some women that were sponsors of his ministry, while he was alive. However, most people that affected Jesus' ministry, that did something to him, Jesus never said that what they did shall be in memory anywhere gospel is preached. Why is it that it was what this woman did that Jesus now said that what she did shall be a memorial? Why? These are the things I want to quickly share with you, so that whatever you will be doing to people, whatever you will be doing even to God or to people, follow this process. Make sure what you do, are carved out around these few things I want to quickly share with you in this topic. So you can create a memorial for yourself. How can what you do remain in people's memory? How? What are the things you should do, or what are the ways you should do things and it will remain in people's memory? Number one, do what is oily. Oily. What is oily? O-I-L-Y. Oily. Yes. Do what is oily. Is it, like I said, many people did different things, for Jesus. But this woman came, she poured oil. So, do what is oily. How do I mean? If you want whatever you do in people's life, either your children, your family, church, people around you, your society, your community, whatever you do, if you want it to linger longer in memory of people, do what is oily. How do I mean? Oil flows. When you do what can flow, yes, thank you, you get it, oily. When you do what can flow, O-I-L-Y, yeah, you got it, oily. Do what is oily. Oil flows. When you pour oil doesn't stay in a place. Oil flows. Right? Oil, if you pour oil anywhere, it will, especially when this woman now poured it on Jesus' head. Right? She poured it on Jesus' head. So the oil flows from down. So do what is oily. When you do a thing that will affect not just a place, not just a person, but many people or many things at the same time, what can flow and will not just affect a place. Okay, if you pour oil here, if I pour oil on this thing now, it will not just stay there. The oil will flow down. It will naturally flow down. So anytime you do what can flow, what can touch other places, or what can touch other people, you do something that is not just touching one person, something that is touching others, touching that flows down. Wow. It becomes what will go beyond one-time memory for you because it is touching different places. So if this one forget, that one will remember. So when you do what is oily, that's what I mean. Then secondly, oil energizes. That's why I should say do what is oily. So when you do what energizes people, what gives energy to people to move on, don't just do things for doing things sake. No. Begin from today, if you want to create memories for yourself, do things to people, even to church or to your children, do things that energizes. Oil is a source of energy. Clinically, it has been researched, and I discovered that it has been clinically researched how some perfume oil. You see, this woman poured perfume oil on Jesus. And clinically, I did the research. I saw that, there are some perfume oil that are sources of energy. Yeah. There are sources of energy. There are sources of, they are memory boosters. And they reduce fatigue. There are some oil. So little wonder why this woman poured oil, on Jesus's head. It was on his head that he poured it so that it can flow, it can touch his body. It touched other places. So do what is oily, do what can flow, do what can energize, what can give power, what can energize people. When you do what energizes people, what gives people, that booster that reduces their fatigue. Two of the different type of oil fragrance, that energizes. It's spearmint and rosemary essential oil. Both, in fact, I made the research. I saw that if both are even mixed together, it helps students to keep memory of things that they have learned. So if you do what is holy, this woman must have realized that Jesus, needed a relief. So don't just do things. If you want to keep memory, do things that will relieve, things that bring relief to people. That's why I said do what is oily. So this woman poured oil. She didn't bring just anything. Many people, like I said, have done different things in Jesus's ministry, and Jesus never counted it for them, as something that will keep in the memory of the gospel. But Jesus, knowing what the meaning of oil is, he clamped down to say that what this woman did, anywhere gospel is preached, it shall be a memory for her. So in doing memorials for yourself, do what is holy, do what flows, do what energizes people, do what boosts people. Maybe somebody's morale is down, do things that boost people's morale, do things that energizes people. And that's what I meant by do what is oily. When you do what gives people relief, they will be very, 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 much keeping it in memory. It will become something that will not leave their memory in a jiffy. Number two, if you want to do things that are, that will remain in people's memory, do what will touch their head. Yes. Do what will touch their head first. If you buy clothes for people, it will waste away. If you buy clothes, I love to buy clothes to people, I love to do that, it will, but when you do, what will touch their head. Oh, little wonder Jesus, this woman didn't pour it. It's a different account. I'll come to that. It's a different account. When she poured oil on Jesus's feet, it was a different account. This time, she poured it on Jesus's head. Listen to me. When you are doing what affects people's head, what can touch people's head first? Not even touching their heart. The heart of man is desperately wicked. But touch the head. In other words, what I'm saying is the head is the destiny house of every man. Don't just do what touches the heart. Do what touches the head. And I will explain that, very, very, explicit, in the more explicit way. So do what touches the head. To be more, precise. I thought perfumes, are to be, used for the clothes and for the body. But no, this woman located Jesus' head. What was she trying to do? She located Jesus' head. She didn't pour it on Jesus' clothes. She didn't pour the perfume on Jesus' body. She located the head, and that's very significant. When you do anything that affects a man's head, what you do become a thing that sticks to their memory. For instance, if you educate a man, you want to help anyone, educate someone, you want to be a blessing, be a source of good information to somebody's head, they won't forget in a jiffy. But if you just buy clothes for people, once the cloth is faded, they are forgotten you. In fact, before the clothes get faded, they are forgotten you, because they have had to buy other clothes, so they are forgotten you. But touch their head. This woman poured the oil on Jesus' head. She could have poured it on. I thought perfumes are to be poured on the body or on the cloth. No, but because it was oil perfume that she had, she poured it on the head. She located the head. And so that's why I said the head is the destiny house of every man. Don't touch people's heart, touch their head. Then you will, if you touch their heart, yeah, it's good, touch people's heart. Oh, you touched my heart. What you did touched my heart. They will forget in a jiffy. But when you do what can touch someone's head, what informs a man, what can educate a man, you do what educates a man, oh wow, you will not be forgotten. Send a child, send a non-entity child, send the child to school, sponsor the child's school, maybe primary school, sponsor it. Let's see if the child will forget you. They won't forget you. The child will always remember. It will be in memory that, wow, I went through primary school, somebody was responsible for it. They will never forget you. Why? Because you have touched the head. That was why this woman located the head and poured it on the head. It poured it on the head. And very, very strategic woman. Very, very strategic. So, this woman, as she located the head in Mark chapter 14, let me read that for you, verse 3. Jesus was in Bethany at the house of Simon, a man who had suffered from a dreaded skin disease. While Jesus was eating, a woman came in with an alabaster jar full of a very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on Jesus' head. Wow. She poured the perfume on Jesus' head. She didn't pour the perfume on the clothes, but she located Jesus' head. The head is, like I said, the head is the house of the destiny of every man. When you locate what affects a man's head, they will never forget it. When you do what you do and it touches the man's head more than his heart, they will never forget you. And so, when you are doing anything, put this in mind. Whether physically or spiritually, people's head has to do with their destiny. Right? I can remember more in life of how I went to school. Every time, sometimes at least I remember what I was taught in school. Sometimes I remember the teacher that taught me. If I can't remember, I would just add. So they taught me this, they taught me that formula, they taught me that, right? But we have worn different Christmas clothes that we never even remember their color anymore. But those things that touched our head, that affected our head, we have them in memory. So if you want people to keep your memory and you're doing anything to them, do what touches their head. Pour it on what will flow. Pour it on their head. Do what will educate people. Do what will inform people for a good future. Those are the ways that you can make good memory for yourself. Number 3, how to make good memory with whatever you do to people. How to make good memory for yourself. Do what costs you something, not what costs you nothing. Do what costs you something. Don't do what costs you nothing. Even people that were around Jesus when the woman was doing that thing, they knew that this woman had done expensive thing. So when you want to do what will remain in memory, you want to create a memorial for yourself, do what costs you something. Don't do what costs you nothing. If it costs you nothing, it may never be in people's memory. Don't worry. They may not never even know how much you did it. But there are two things that makes something to be expensive, right? It may not really be you don't need to be rich before you do expensive things. Yeah, you don't need to be rich before you do expensive things. Another word for expensive, I realized that, let me share two words with you, that can explain the word expensive. Another word is there. What is there? And another word is sacrifice, right? Because people may not know even the amount of whatever you do, but if you do it out of a sacrifice, out of a sincere sacrifice, let me tell you, to be in memory. If you do what is dear to you, you release what is dear to you, it will be in memory. Let alone what is expensive. So even people that were around Jesus at that time, they knew that this woman did what was expensive. However, she was not a fantastically rich or wealthy woman. In fact, the Bible says in Jerusalem, this woman was living in the village part of Jerusalem. She wasn't even living in the city. She was living in the village. So it wasn't as if this woman was fantastically rich, right? So but she did what was expensive. Yeah, what is dear and sacrificial. Yeah, that's it. You get it. Those are other words for expensive. When something is dear to you and you release it, it will be in memory. When something is a sacrifice you're doing, it will be in memory, right? So you see this woman, she came from Bethany. Bethany happened to be a village in Jerusalem. In those days, it was a village. So let's call her a village woman doing expensive things, right? A village woman doing expensive things. So, and the Bible says in Mark chapter 14, verse 5 and verse 4 and verse 5, the Bible says there that this oil this woman poured, this expensive oil, costed like 300 silver coins. In fact, it is approximately a year wage of a laborer. Approximately a year wage of a laborer. Presently, a laborer collects like about 3,500. 3,500. So looking at like 313 days, remove Sundays, we have 52 Sundays, right, in a year. So remove 52 from 360 days we have in a year, right? So remove 52, you have about 313. So make a calculation. 3,500 a day wage, and if the Bible says 300 silver coin is approximately a year wage of a laborer, then if you say a laborer earns 3,500 per day now, so it means 3,000 times 313, right? 313 days. So it means a year wage of a laborer is like 1,090,000 naira. 1,090,000 naira. So this was the cost of the alabaster, of the expensive perfume in the alabaster jar that this woman poured on Jesus. A year wage, that expensive? So if you want to do what will remain in memory, do what is expensive. Do what is expensive, not just in the cost. Do what costs you something. Either it's costing you a sacrifice, you have to go out of your way. That's a sacrifice. You have to do what is dear to you, and release it. That's expensive. That's expensive. So you don't have to be super rich to do expensive things for people. That's what I'm trying to prove out here. You don't have to be super rich. So you can do what is there, you can do what is costly, you can do what is sacrificial to people. Then it will be in a memorial. Let alone when you do what people even know. People around Jesus knew that this was expensive. So let alone you do what is expensive, then it will be in memory. In memory. Because I don't know how Jesus could have, the son of a carpenter anyway, A minister, I don't know how he will have gotten such amount of money, to buy oil, perfume, and just feel perfume because he's going for ministration. No, he wouldn't have just done that. But this woman did it. She did it. So being sacrificial most times is very expensive. Most times being sacrificial is very, very expensive. But it creates memorials, meaningful memorials in people's hearts. So be very sacrificial. When people know that you can go all out for their sake, when people know that what is dear to you, you can release them. It may be time. It may be your dear time. Yeah. That's why I said you don't have to be super rich, to do what will be in people's memory. People can, that woman paid that sacrifice. Wow, I appreciate it. And it remains in their memory. So if you want to do what will be in your memorials for you, do what is expensive, do what is there, release what is there to you, go lend for people, go lend with people. Yes, I know people have bastardized, the use of, making sacrifice for them. But however, there are people that are worth your sacrifice. There are people that are worth that you release what is dear to you. Go ahead and do that. And you'll be creating a memorial for yourself in their heart. Another thing that will help you to create a memorial with what you do is when you do what is good constantly. When you do what is good constantly or consistently. When you are consistent in good things, be very consistent in good things. And like I said, this woman was the only one in history that consistently poured oil on Jesus. The only one in Jesus' history or ministry history. When he was within that 3 years, this woman was the only one in record that consistently what she did to Jesus was to pour oil. Right? The same woman, this Mary, poured oil on Jesus' head in Simon's house. This Matthew chapter 26, if you look at it, and if you look at Mark chapter 14, the Bible says it in verse 3. Jesus was in Bethany at the house of Simon. Right? And that was where this woman came. If you look at the account of Matthew 26 too, you will see that Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon. But if you look at the same woman in John chapter 12, the same woman came to pour oil, not on the head this time, but she poured it on Jesus' feet. And she wiped it with her hair. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped it with her hair. Consistency. So, do good things consistently. When you are consistent with doing of good things, it will become a thing that will stick in people's memory. Right? Those things you do will get stocked in the memory of people. So, you'll be creating a memorial for yourself. But if you only do things sparingly, you do things once in a while, you will be losing the memory. It will not be kept. Okay. But if it is a consistent thing, so any good thing you do them consistently. Be very consistent in doing good things. So when you do something once in a while, it may not create a memorial than a short while, It may not create a memorial. But when you become very regular with doing good things to people and to God, wow, you are creating memorial for yourself. And lastly, how to create memorials for yourself. Do what can prepare people for the end of their life's journey. Do what can prepare people for the end of their life's journey. You will see Jesus said it in Mark chapter 14 verse 8. Jesus said, she poured perfume on my body to prepare it ahead of time for burial. So when you do what can prepare people for the end of their life's journey, wow, you will be creating a memorial for yourself. You can never do what will prepare someone for heaven and they will forget it. When you do what prepares people for the end of their age, for the future, we do what prepares people for the future, they will never forget you. They will never forget you. And so it is very, very key. You must know that if you are going to keep the things you do in people's memory for a long while, for a long time, then you must do what prepares them for the end of their age or for the future. And that's why Jesus said it. Jesus said it. This woman had prepared me ahead of my burial. And so it will always be a memorial when you partake in how someone will end well in life. When you partake in how people end well in life, oh, it will be a memorial. This woman partook in how Jesus was going to end his journey, right? And that was how Jesus interpreted what she did. And Jesus said this thing will be a memorial for her, right? And I like you to know that, let me give an instance. Recently I was discussing, as we're closing, I was discussing with a friend, a Muslim friend of mine, and he was just saying, no, why is it that pastors, are always, when we're talking, I was saying that pastors are also teachers. Pastors are riding jets all around. Pastors are, doing that. I said, because pastors, they do things that stay in the memory of people more than, because pastors are teachers too, more than teachers. And because they prepare them for future. He said, no, what of the teacher? The teacher is also preparing them. Why is it that pastors are earning more than, I said, the work of a pastor, you cannot undermine it, and you cannot, juxtapose it with that of class teacher. A teacher taught me when I was in primary school. It's not the same teacher that taught me when I was in secondary school. Not the same teacher that taught me in higher institution. But a pastor, a singular pastor can be a pastor for a child for 30 years, for 40 years. He may pastor the child from womb. He will name the child. He will do wedding. A singular pastor can do that. He may be the same one that will do wedding for the child and will name that child's child. Right? Pastors, are somewhat, people that journey with people for a long while. So if people come back to reward them, if people come back to bless them, is there anything bad in that? It was just, that was his understanding. But I was just trying to recreate that in him. When you contribute to people's journey, or you do what affect people's future, people's end of days, and that's why you see pastors, they preach to you, they hand time to you, they preach to you, they prepare you for heaven. And that was what this woman did. And Jesus said, what she had done will be in memory. In memory. So you can also begin to do what will create memorial for yourself, by contributing to people's salvation journey, contribute to people's journey to the future, and you will be creating memories for yourself, right? So I want to just put this word back to you, that it is very, very essential. You must know that people will never remember you for what you never did. If you have always had it in mind to help people, do this to this person, and you never did it, they won't remember it. It is only what you did. And I want to say also concludingly that you should do what is good. The good part is that to do what is good. People will remember you for what is good. People will remember you for what is bad. But do the good. Do the good. You rather do the good. So as we conclude, as I'm closing, I want to appreciate you again for joining me in this Weekend Tonic. We are back with the Weekend Tonic. We are back. Although this month is a month of many assignments, but I'd like to invite you to the program that will run for the last 7 days of the year, right? So that program will run. During that program, we won't be able to have Weekend Tonic. We won't be able to have Weekend Tonic. We will trust that you will journey with us in that program. We'll call it GJS, Generation of Jacob Summit. Is a prayer time, is a time of reflection, is a time of projection into the coming year. So would you join us with this year's GJS? It's starting 25th of December to 31st. It's going to be a morning session and an evening session. I invite you to be part of this online, or if you can come live, and you will be here to be blessed. I'll be ministering with a number of other colleagues and friends in the ministry as God will be preparing us for the 2021 ahead of us. Yes, like I said, it's better you just cling onto the known God who knows the unknown 2021. Listen to him. Join me as we do this together. Until I see you again next week for the weekend tonic, well, I wish you safe, stay blessed, and please stay connected. Tomorrow is service. Make sure you worship in the church. And if you are online, you can join us online, as the topic we're talking about in worship tomorrow is working it out. Work it out. Work it out. Work it out. So I look forward to having you also tomorrow. And I look forward that next week, Weekend Tonic, will always connect. Thank you for joining me today. God bless you. God bless you. Remain safe. Remain blessed. Remain connected. MEC Oladejo is my name. I'm the lead pastor, the Lord's Portion Restaurant Church, OPIC. God bless you. Thanks for being there today.